My name's Angie Anderson. I'm from St. Joseph, Missouri. I'm married to John Anderson. I have 2 children of my own, 3 children from him. So we have a nice big blended family and 15 grandkids, 2 great grandkids. Now what? My earliest childhood memory was that of being sexually abused when I was 4 years old. And the reason I start with that is because that was pretty significant as I was growing up and getting into my teenage years and then into my adult years. And I lived with my mother and my 2 siblings in St. Joe, and it was a neighbor that actually did the sexual abuse. It was shoved under the rug and forgotten about. Because when something is so traumatic, you repress it, and that's what I did. And I didn't even realize that, but that also led to my promiscuity, but I didn't know any of that until I started addressing those issues. So when I say normal childhood, it was a normal childhood considering my mother was raising the 3 of us. But it was good. We were close. We were kind of poor, but I didn't realize it. You know, I had good friends. I did well in school. I don't know. It was normal. It was fun. It was that time when I was 20 and I felt like I was making some changes in my life, and then life got regular, I thought. Got married, had kids, bought a house, do all the things that you do. Then I went through a divorce. And although I'd gone through a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center when I was 19 or 20, I didn't really think that I had a problem. I didn't drink for 10 years, but after the divorce I did pick up a drink again. And eventually the drinking got out of control. It was 10 years, but it was gradually worse, where I was not taking care of my responsibilities. I ended up, I wasn't paying the bills on time. I was drinking more and more, and drinking became a priority. And neglecting things where the kids were concerned. Before the drinking ever started, I was a great mother. I was a ballpark mom. We did all the fun things. The drinking started after the divorce, and things just gradually went downhill. July 16th, 2006, I was in a bar in the South End with some friends. And I was disgusted with the girl, my good friend, right across the table from me. I turned to my friend on the right and I said, "If I ever get like that, please tell me." She said, "Angie, you're always like that." And it wasn't losing the kids or losing the house that got me to want to do something different. It was that moment. So I went back to my friend's house and I said, "Something's got to give." They said, "Well, we want to take you to treatment." So I had to call each of my family members before I agreed to go to treatment that night at 12:30. And they all ended up coming over. And they all took me to treatment. And the next day is when I found out that when I was in treatment, that there was a family intervention plan to take place that day. And I felt like that was God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning. Today I have a foundation. Today I've built my life on a foundation. I met a wonderful man that I married, and we keep God in our relationship. any of my previous relationships, God wasn't a priority. And I would say, without hesitation, that that's the biggest difference in my whole life. Here's what it comes down to me. Everything that I thought I knew and thought was how life is and isn't. That's not accurate. God put people in my life to help me and for me to help them. And that's not just family, that's friends. That's everybody. We're together on this. We're not fighting each other. You know, when I was raised thinking that I needed to be self-sufficient, self-supporting, don't have to depend on anybody, that's just not true. I have to depend on people. People will fail me. I'll fail them. But then we'll forgive each other. God won't fail me. You know, we're all doing the best that we know how, I believe. But I have to ask for help. And I have to receive it. And I have to give it. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. Just be willing to help your neighbor and ask them for help too. I believe that.